Hey everybody, I'm Joe from FootRx Running in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm a podorthist, so I help people with their feet. I'm also a trainer, so inevitably help people with their feet, just also more up the chain, not the train. And then I also am a runner, so I love to run in the mountains. And I decided, since I work in a store that sells shoes and I like to use them, I can review some shoes. So I'm gonna start off with one of my first minimal shoes is Vivobarefoot Firm Ground Primus Trail. But all the shoes I'm gonna review, because these are the shoes that we sell, these are the shoes I run in, these are the shoes I believe in, they're all gonna have a foot shape. Some of them are gonna be flat. I love flat shoes, especially for my own posture. Some of them will have no cushion, some of them will have cushion, depending on what I've been wearing. So, starting off with the Vivobarefoot, I'm gonna just hit a few topics that I think are important, not just from what I experience when I walk or what I experience when I run, but also like when I'm fitting other people. Because I'll see someone from a 5-year-old to a 95-year-old, from someone that has a pretty awesome foot, stronger than mine, and to the feet that don't move at all. So, starting with the toe box. The toe box is round, it lets the toes spread out. Extremely important for the big toe. We could talk about that later. But when I compare this to other shoes in the foot shape market, I would say Vivobarefoot probably ranks on the lower end, where the big toe is really straight, which is really helpful for me. I feel like I have a stronger arch where my big toe can abduct away from my second toe, but the pinky toe is cut off quite a bit. So if I use this for a long run, that pinky toe will be a little bit red at the end. Also, especially when this was the shoe I wore when I was transitioning. So I was not used to such thin shoes. So I used to stuff a few sock liners in there to increase the cushion. So that made it extra difficult since I felt like I could spread my toes out less. If I were comparing this to shoes that have a better toe box, again, not just for me, but for people I fit, I would say that Lem's Primal is probably the golden standard. Ultra Lone Peak is also pretty wonderful, where it just fits more feet, including my own. Next is going to be the outsole. So because Vivobarefoot is a company that uses a lot of their own materials, like they're trying to be on the more sustainable side of things, they are not using a Vibram outsole. This outsole was actually pretty decent. It is actually better than most. I'll pick on Ultra for a little bit. Like, I think Ultra for years did not have the grippiest outsoles. People bought them simply because they're flat and they're foot shaped. I would say this exceeds Ultra, but around 300 miles, it got pretty flat. Which, I mean, people are going to be paying $150 for the shoe, so I think it could have held up a little bit better, or maybe people would expect it to hold up a little bit better. Where I felt like this shoe was awesome was as a hybrid shoe, where the cleat is not super deep, so if I had to run on pavement or on gravel, I didn't feel like I was just like, tapping the ground with all these cleats like some trail shoes do. So this was an amazing hybrid shoe. As you can see, it's extremely flattened out for mowing the lawn. I feel like mowing the lawn kind of wears down shoes even faster. But that was simply from just wearing it for so many miles that I felt like it was more comfortable as a lawn shoe than it was a performance shoe. That brings me down to the outsole, where like the benefit of minimal shoes is it's not a squishy midsole. So as it breaks down, you don't have to throw it away. This isn't going to alter my gait. Versus if you have a shoe that has cushion and you tend to wear them out on the outside, or what I see a lot is the inside, like that is going to alter your gait as you wear them. Whereas in this shoe is going to let me walk about the same as it would when I bought it brand new. Maybe like there's a millimeter between, the medial side compared to the lateral side. So it's not going to alter the gait and not going to harm me. So I really appreciate that about minimal shoes in general. The upper, I thought the upper was very decent. It allowed my foot to breathe really well. Because again, they use a lot of sustainable materials. They're not going to have like that virgin softness like a Lem's Primal or a Zero Priya would have. So like whenever I wore these without socks, which I like to wear my shoes without socks, I would blister inevitably on the top of my feet. So there's some pretty raw blisters, especially if it was humid and hot outside. A problem I have with a lot of almost every Vivobarefoot is they are shallow. So again, when I was stuffing them full of insoles, that was a problem because it just packed the shoe tighter and tighter. But also when I'm fitting people with shoes, they don't fit as many feet. So it's like, even if they love the way it looks and love the way that it might feel, underneath their foot, it's just too cramped, especially if that foot has higher volume. And then it started, this is how most Vivos will actually kind of end up prematurely, I think, for the price. I prefer it when it kind of cracks right there. You can actually see, I ended up just cutting it because I thought it felt better. But a lot of people that I see that buy Vivobarefoots get really upset that they spent over $150 on them, and then within 50 to 100 miles, just where that crease is, where they're bending the toe, it kind of breaks free. So again, I prefer it because it starts feeling like a slipper and actually moves with my foot better. But I can see where people get upset because it is a defect, and there are ways to help it flex with the foot. And I believe if you look at the Vivobarefoot Flex, they have improved on that, where it's not going to break that. They just go ahead and build a crease in there. And that's about it. It comes with some lock laces that I took out. I used to not like lock laces, which, I got some laces to put it in. Now I prefer them. So if you don't like them, you could just cut them, take them out. Overall, I would say this is a legitimate shoe. It's one of the best minimal trail shoes on the market. If I was recommending this shoe to somebody, the thing with Vivobarefoot is, one, you have to kind of fit in their foot shape, and two, you have to have that volume because they're all pretty darn similar. So if you don't fit in one Vivobarefoot, you're probably not going to fit in the other. I think that's kind of a flaw of the business. I think you should be a brand that kind of, hits multiple people's feet, fits their feet better. So because of those two factors, and that they are so thin, like they are, if you compare them to other minimal brands, like they are on the thinner side, which is like the barefoot side, the purist side, they're gonna be less approachable. Like most people, when I'm recommending a shoe to buy, unless they've been barefoot significantly and been walking and running in barefoot shoes, I'm not going to tell them to buy this shoe. If they've been getting a lot of advertisements and they want to try it anyway, I will actually recommend the Vivobarefoots over other models because that lug makes it a little bit thicker compared to their like road models that are just flat. So there's a little bit deeper lug right here. But yeah, I love this shoe. I will not be opposed to buying it again. I'll be reviewing the knit version, where this is this traditional mesh version. As you can see, it's worn out. I'm ready to get rid of it, which that brings me to my last point, is Vivobarefoot, because they're on that whole sustainability program. Like, I'm going to send this back to them, and they're going to break it down, recycle what they can recycle, reuse what they can reuse, which I think is a gold standard that every like billion-dollar shoe company should be doing. It should be embarrassing for them that a $1 million shoe company is already making an initiative to keep stuff out of the landfill. So that's a huge benefit for Vivobarefoot. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what you think if you walk or ran in this shoe. As always with minimal shoes, if you buy one for the first time, do not run this shoe. It took me a long time to transition to, I had to change not just how my foot's moving, but also how my foot is feeling. I had to change my running form. It was a long process, and some people are not willing to put in that work. Not a laziness, it's just time consuming. And if you're running, you probably want to run versus like back everything up. Most people, I'm recommending to walk in this shoe. If you can use this as an everyday shoe and then go run in whatever you want to run in, then like that's 8 hours where you get free foot strength. So yeah, don't be buying minimal shoes just to run in if you're not living in a minimal shoe. And my first time wearing a minimal shoe as a walking shoe, I just spent 30 minutes in it for the first time. It was like a brand new exercise for my arch, simply because it gets to flex and gets to move, and my foot was not used to that. So take it easy, be easy on yourself. But again, let me know in the comments what you thought of this shoe. Thanks for watching.